Can't complain. We starting in about 2 minutes or so. Um, just giving everybody some time to come in. All right. Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. I know we have more people in person than we have online. That's a good thing. And for the first time since COVID. So big ups to everybody who joined us in person. Thank you. And everybody in the committee. The time is 7:08. Can I get a motion to start the meeting? No, that's no. Ebenezer, are we recording?
Yes, yeah, we are
Okay.
recording, we are in YouTube and we are in Facebook.
Great. So
Be careful what we say.
who motioned?
Yeah.
All right.
We all-
Second, motion start meeting by Bruce, seconded by Carl. Can I get a motion to adopt today's agenda? Motion second. All right, Bruce seconded. So we have a good meeting today. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Joel Abreu. I'm the the Business Development Committee Chair for Community Board 12. In this meeting, in this committee, we speak about different opportunities and ways that the economic development of Washington Heights and Inwood and what that picture looks like in a variety of ways. So welcome everyone. I've been on the board for 3 years now. I've been the chair for going on 2 years now, a year and a half. So I'm gonna go around the room and the committee members will introduce themselves. So Bruce, take it away.
Ladies first.
Oh, Alexis.
Hi, Alexis Marnell. I've been a public member on Parks and Culture for 5 years. This is my first year as a full member on the Business Development Committee and Vice Chair of Parks and Culture.
Thank you, Alexis. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Radia Barnes. I am a new board member. This being my first year. and I'm also in housing and human services.
Right, new subjective, because you got some seasoning already. That's it.
A bit under my-
Good. Bruce,
Bruce Robertson, been on the board, I don't know, 6 years. And also on traffic and transportation. Glad to be here.
thank you so much, Bruce. Carl,
Carl member for, new member, well, fairly old member, but so, I'm also on the licensing committee, so. Joe.
yes,
It's a good committee here, and glad to be back.
thank you so much. So together we are the Business Development Committee. I have a few announcements that I want to go over. Actually, just one big one, but different parts. So it's official. March is the month for Dining Out NYC. March is the month. Roadway cafes and sidewalk cafes will be in full effect. Applications, the application I think is going to be for 6 months that is going to be opened. So any businesses that it's going to be from from March to November. Any businesses that currently have, and we've been through this already, right? Earlier this year it was late last year. I think it was November. We had a lawyer on here that works for or had involvement to do with this new regulation. And he used to work for the hospitality group, the restaurant hospitality group. And he was involved in this legislation and he kind of knew the ins and outs. And he told us that it's November of this year that they have until these structures have to come down outside of the restaurants. So anybody who has a structure right now, there's nobody online, but pretty sure we get the views on YouTube and want to know what this process is like. It's going to be tedious at first with this new application, but you have up till November to take down your structure outside of your restaurant if you don't have your license. Now, applications will be live on March. Next month, I'll open up the application and see what it is all about and what that looks like. But for right now, there is a great interactive guide on diningoutnyc.gov that you want to go check it out. It's pretty, gives you pictures, shows you what it is. It has to be removable. But please check out our meeting on YouTube on November so you can really get informed. We asked a lot of questions during that meeting, so it's a good watch for anyone who has a restaurant and wants to apply for these licenses. So any questions about that?
Yeah, so this goes on the whole month through November.
Through November, yeah.
And it's like a program.
So let me see if I can share it here.
Give restaurants notice that by November, they gotta take down their sheds.
Yeah,
And if they don't, they get fined. And if they want to adopt a new shed, they have to go conform to certain new regulations and style and everything.
Yeah, they've been talking about that for a while. So
Well, now it's happening.
now it's happening. It's
Okay.
The other thing they seem to have been doing is expanding sidewalk opportunities for restaurants to go from a certain number to a bigger number to replace the sheds, because the sheds have been blocking parking.
Right.
When you block parking, you could really get in trouble with all the people who own cars.
This is citywide or just Manhattan?
It is citywide.
Mhm.
Citywide. The previous rules, it was an emergency act, right? For
Save the
COVID,
restaurants.
to save the restaurant.
Right.
Because people couldn't dine indoors.
So
So that's already being repealed
Mhm.
and being replaced by Dining Out NYC.
Right.
So let me just share this really quickly with you guys. And
Do we have any particular role to play on that?
No.
Program, or just mostly to inform our
inform others, right?
Okay, all right.
Now licensing, the other committee that we have,
Mhm.
some of the licenses that are gonna go through sidewalks and roadways, they're gonna come through licensing. Because part of the application, is gonna have the community board's input on it.
Right, right. I
We could, yes, well,
figured.
the licensing committee will recommend it, and then the general board will vote for or against it, just like how we do with liquor licenses.
I know, but yet another thing that they have to
Yes, yet another thing we do have to consider.
review.
Right. So this is what it looks like. Let me just. Right, we went over this, kind of pictures, so it's a step-by-step guide, shows you the area, the clearances, how to operate it. It's very, very interactive. I looked at it, last night. Pretty good, summary of what the requirements are gonna be. Just get familiar with it. There's businesses out there that really thrive on the outdoor sidewalks, and they're on the streetway now. So, and they have some elaborate contraptions in the roadways. So if you know any of our constituents that have this, just inform them. It's coming. Although DOT is overseeing this, DOT is gonna be the ones enforcing things that are not within regulation. And they don't have a robust enforcement agency. So it's gonna be complaint driven. However, we should still recommend restaurants to apply for this license. Because I don't wanna see our restaurants be fined for having this, especially, these restaurants run on small margins. To get a fine on top of another fine, that's not good. Let's encourage our restaurants to apply for this, okay?
I feel like there'll be some, I guess, opportunity for them to rectify problems if they.
Yes, the first one is a warning. The first one is a warning. So, but like I said, it's gonna be complaint driven, but we don't want that for our restaurants. We wanna make sure that,
Some place where, this could apply to, so.
Yeah.
Should go and tell them.
so yeah, let our restaurants know, okay? So that was my main component of my announcement. Anybody else has any announcements?
What's up? Latin Market, is that next?
Yeah, this is, we have, DSNY first. Jarissa is online, Maritza Johnny is online, ready to speak about some commercial waste regulations.
You wanna talk?
Yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah,
Forget the name of that location. It's 153 Overlook?
it's Riverside.
Right, but it's got a name. I think it's Overlook.
We could talk about it.
We're talking about that space.
Yeah, that
I thought
space.
it was called Gateway 151.
Gateway.
Gateway, yes. So me, Bruce, and Steve Simon, which is not part of, and Alexis, sorry. Me, Bruce, I thought I said your name. Me, Bruce, and Alexis, and Steve Simon, which is not in our committee. We met, Mr. Mark, what's his last name? Well, Mark, he currently has a concession that is going to be called
Gateway 151.
Gateway 151. This concession opens up opportunities for different business owners to possibly have concessions and sell whatever food that they may be selling, and he has the possibility of opening it up to different vendors. So we had a meeting with him to talk about these opportunities. It went extremely well. There's more details coming along. We'll have him come on the committee and talk about the space that he has, but it's looking like a great destination spot in Washington Heights. I guess that's Hamilton Heights technically.
Yeah.
Because it's one
Mark Russo.
Mark Russo.
He's also looking for a food court hub manager, because he's bringing together different types of foods.
Yeah.
He's putting in a kitchen and a bathroom. He's spending, I think he said $2 million.
Yes, he did. Yes. So
And,
he is a considerable investment for sure.
he's there for 20 years.
Yes. So it is a concession from the New York City Parks.
He didn't quite know about,
But it was great. It was a good meeting. I wish him well. We're gonna have him on, like I mentioned. But it's definitely an opportunity for businesses of Washington Heights to get involved.
When does he plan to
He,
get this on the ground?
he said this summer.
Mhm.
So he's still constructing it
they did some events there.
last October and in the fall.
Oktoberfest about a year ago in October.
Mhm.
And it's really a great venue. but it's been neglected for forever.
Yes,
What street is it on?
it's on 153rd and
And
Riverside.
There's a kind of a circular.
Riverside. It's part of-
amphitheater, and then down below, there's actually a theater down there, which looks out over the river, which has been empty and neglected for years. You know, so it's, he's gonna resurrect it.
And it has like, it's connected with the bridge.
Right.
Right there on 155.
Get to river.
So you get to
Yeah.
Riverbank Park,
Yeah.
which is, the state park that's right there. So it's a great location, has a great view.
Is it
Lots of
because that
concession-
kind of looks like a tube?
What's
I
that?
don't know. It's like a,
So like a cylinder, you mean?
Horizontal or vertical? Is it stuff?
If you go down the ramp to get to the
vertical.
crossover, the Denny Farrell Bridge, you see it on the left,
Mhm, okay.
and it's set back. There's one of them in Central Park too, that's
Yes,
by the fountain,
That sounds
but it's a little bit smaller.
yeah, and the reason why we wanted to meet with him is because it does provide, like, if I'm a restaurant owner and I want to sell, let's say empanadas there,
Mhm.
for a weekend, he's offering these concessions, to multiple businesses. No, well, he wants to be have a good night. He wants to have businesses come in and sell their food there
Okay.
and throw in events and be, and not just events like that, but also be like big events like bar mitzvahs,
Well, there-
weddings,
there's
and other
also-
things.
So we're talking about the money, is it like free, philanthropic?
No, well, I know, I think, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be, no, it's for profit, right?
But they've had music there and he has musicians. We thought it might be a good idea to connect them with the Latin market people because this is what they do.
Yeah,
They put together food courts all over the city. And he needs somebody like that could be a manager for this program.
so, yeah, we'll get more info from him as the project goes along, but wanted to quickly mention that, to everyone, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, so, sorry, Marissa, thank you so much for waiting. But I wanted to introduce you. You are from the Department of Sanitation. I think we've spoken a couple times through email, but we weren't, I knew that you knew of me, but thank you for finally coming to my meeting. I appreciate you coming. And I'm really excited to hear about commercial waste and what what it means for us. So, and these new regulations. So take it away. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Marissa Yanni. I'm the Manhattan Community Affairs Liaison for the Department of Sanitation. So sorry it took so long for me to come to your committee meeting. The way things get approved here, it's a little funny. But I'm really here just to talk about the new commercial containerization rule that goes into effect March 1st. At the moment, only food-related businesses and chain businesses have to containerize their trash and organic material. But starting on March 1st this year, all businesses have to do that. So I don't care what you're selling. It doesn't matter what type of business. Everyone has to put their trash and organics in containers for collection. There will be a grace period of 1 month. So really we'll start enforcement starting April 1st. March, we'll be able to go out there and talk to some folks if there's any businesses that need some assistance or just don't really know too much about the rules. That happens, especially if there's no bid in the neighborhood. That could also be a reason. We're going to go out and talk to them. My friends over at the Bureau of Commercial Waste, they've been doing info sessions for bids. So they've been talking with all the bids of New York City. I think their first one was today. They had about 40 bids, 40 representatives from bids on the call. So that was really great. We're definitely trying to get the word out as much as possible and also answering any questions that really come up. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding, sorry, the lights are going off in my office. I'm happy to answer any questions about this new rule. And if you have any other questions for DSNY. If you'll give me a second, I'm going to put my lights on, but you could talk to me as I'm doing.
We'll wait for him.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. I have a few. Yes.
Hi, Marissa.
See, he can see. There you go. There you are.
So I saw it on TV, these new trucks that you have that pick up the plastic containers and they dump them. And it saves a lot of wear and tear on the sanitation guys who, you know, are lifting these heavy bags for so many years that they have back problems and so forth. Are you releasing all these new trucks at the same time?
Oh, for the video that you saw, those trucks are not in service.
How do you empty the containers now if they have to be in effect by April 1?
So that's only for commercial businesses. So we
Commercial,
don't
okay.
collect from commercial. So I don't
Okay.
care. I don't want to say I don't care, but
Okay.
like I don't pick it up. So
How many commercial businesses are there, let's say, in Washington Heights and Inwood that will be affected by this?
well, every single business will be affected.
But
by
do you know
it.
how many numbers that is?
No, I
Oh.
think you guys might.
Well,
I'm
the
joking.
office might,
Yeah.
I don't know, but the
I'm
office.
I know in my
The office
neighborhood,
might.
you know, there've been some that have gotten the plastic bins and so forth, so it's happening.
So just to answer your question, Bruce, there is a pilot program of residential containers
Right.
happening, and that is in Community Board 9.
Nine.
Yeah, in Hamilton
that is
Heights.
that is doing kind of this type of waste collection, and those trucks are being applied. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Marissa.
I
Right?
don't know if those trucks are being applied.
Okay. So
I only seen that one truck as a prototype for the
Right.
video. So I'm not 100% sure. I was not told. I think we're opening up those bins and taking the trash out.
yeah, so they're experimenting with a couple things in DSNY because I've read up on it on the residential side, which is different ways to contain it instead of just dumping your trash, you know, in the sidewalk, having containers for residential usage. Yeah. Yeah.
Really cool. Of course, it takes up parking spots. So
Yes.
Again, the cars
Yeah.
aren't happy.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple spots that a couple things that people don't like about it, and that's one of them. They're also experimenting with like suction ones. Yeah, like that you'll drop it and they'll like have a they haven't implemented any of them because I was reading the OI study that they did last year, and that's one of them, or having underground containers. So those are a couple things just on the residential side that they're
Yeah.
experimenting with.
Thank
Just wanted to ask, so about these new containers, who's providing these containers, and is DSNY providing it for?
No, we are not providing the containers. The businesses need to buy them themselves.
Okay. And it's going into effect March 1st.
Yes.
Has a grace period. What's the fine if if these rules aren't met, if these expectations aren't met?
So all set out violations are subject to fines of $50 for a first offense, $100 for a second offense, and $200 for third and subsequent offenses, within a 12-month period. This includes setting out too early, improper, insufficient bins, and failure to store bins properly.
Okay. And at what time do they have to set these things up outside?
Bins need to be out an hour before closing, or if there's an hour before closing. I'm sorry. This rule doesn't apply to recyclables. So if they're putting recyclables out in bags, that has to be out after 8 p.m.
That's fine.
Yep.
Have you had, how much opportunity have you had to put out the word on this upcoming program?
So my team has only been tasked with speaking to community boards and to committee meetings and to committees like you all. The commercial waste team, they're the ones speaking with bids and the businesses directly. So we're
Because,
just a two-pronged attack.
We haven't heard anything about this program. Well, at least I haven't heard anything about this program until now. So, I mean,
Okay.
I suspect that these landlords, the subjects of this program, the folks who are going to be regulating, they probably are not very aware of this. And it may not be very fair to maybe punish them without them being forced to, be made aware of what the program is and what they are required to do. So, I worry that the start date may be kind of soon, given how little information there seems to be out there regarding this program. Do that make any sense to you?
Are you there? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I have the cleaning crew. I'm here late, so I have the cleaning crews coming through.
No problem.
Just everyone's trying to do their job. So yes, this is definitely a concern. That's why our commercial waste team is going to be doing outreach, and that's why we have that month of no enforcement of that grace period. So they have been reaching out to bids and to small businesses that are part of associations. And then if you know of any businesses that you don't think know it, or you think there's a strip in your district, right? We're only going to talk about CB12. If you think there's a strip that you think needs extra assistance, please let me know. And then I have no issue sending staff out there, or I'll go out there myself and talk to the businesses and make sure that they know about the new rule.
Would you consider something like maybe flyers, or maybe even an announcement somewhere, maybe on TV or radio, someplace where people can get information? Because this is a big deal. I mean, $50, $50, it adds up. The profit margins on some of these businesses are thin.
That's very thin.
So
So, yeah, I mean,
Go ahead,
is it
Alexis.
just you, or do you have like a street outreach team? Because I can think of about 5 businesses just in like, going up into Amsterdam, where I know they don't know about this. And I know nobody's reached out. The dry cleaner, this Mexican culture, the barber shop,
little bodegas.
and if you do have any flyers, if you could provide them to, a lot of people, we can pass them out in our neighborhoods.
You can do that.
Yeah,
Marissa, are the waste
Yeah.
companies telling their clients that they have to do this?
I was just about to get to that.
That's an outlet that puts the responsibility for communication on the vendor who's picking up the waste. Do they get fined also if they don't participate?
The Carter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the actual carders, yeah.
They're the guys that have communication with the clients. That's a
So
great.
we can't ticket a private carder. That would be the Business Integrity Commission. They're the ones who deal with the private carder side of it. If I walk by a business and they don't have bins after March 1st, for their trash, the ticket goes to the business, not to the private carder.
But is somebody telling the carters, tell your business that you need to do this, otherwise you're going to get fined? Is somebody communicating?
Right, that's the commercial waste team, yes.
But
Okay,
they are.
okay,
Yes.
so I guess what Bruce is trying to say is that a good way to reach our businesses is just to go through the carter, right? Because they're the ones picking up the waste and
They don't want to see
communicating
the
with
clients
them.
get fined.
They're gonna get their clients to be on the program. But so yeah, that's a good. Is there any literature that we can pass out that you could like bring to our office? It would be great for us to receive that, just so we could spread the news. I
don't
know.
have anything at the moment.
Okay,
I haven't
and
given anything yet.
no, it's okay. When was this passed? This regulation passed?
Give me 1 second. Do I know when it was passed? I don't, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I don't know when it was actually passed. I don't have it in my notes. Commercial containerization, sorry. No, the process began in 2023. I mean, starting August 1st, we started with food-related businesses having to use bins. So no, I can't say when this was officially passed. I'm trying to look for it. But
Okay.
I don't see it. Oh, the adopted rules for commercial establishments. Opening a document. It's incredibly long and wordy. So this is chapter 1 of Title 16 of the Rules of the City of New York. No, I'm sorry. I don't have a year in front of me.
Okay.
I just have when it takes effect. I don't have when it was like presented to the city council, if that's what you're asking like that.
So about commercial waste, so our recyclables, you said after 8 p.m., they have to be, they have to be outside as well.
Right, because recyclables don't have to be containerized if they don't want to containerize them. Those can still go in plastic bags, clear bags.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, so it's just their landfill waste that has to be in these
Correct.
containers.
Correct.
Now, how about their organic? I know there's no organic program yet for commercial waste. Is that true? Or am I just
There are some
Imagine.
commercial establishments are covered by the organics rule, where they have to separate their organic waste. So yeah, so at the moment, food related businesses, that would really apply more to them, as opposed to like jewelry stores or like that was mentioned, like a barber shop. The only food related they're gonna have is containers from lunch, right? Because they don't sell any food related stuff. So if they're part of that organics rule, then yes, it has to be separated. But otherwise, if a barbershop puts in in their black plastic bag takeaways from lunch, napkins like that, and any leftovers from litter and trash that people have in the business, that then has to go in a container. So the leftover lunch wouldn't have to be separated. But food
Okay.
related would have to be separated.
now who's in this program, this organic? Is there any businesses in Washington Heights, or is there like a specific sector of businesses that are in this organic waste?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yes, there are businesses that are part of it. And if you give me a moment, because nothing is ever where I need it to be, and I can't spell. Sorry, the only good thing about being in my office is I can look everything up as best as I can. So who is covered by the NYC commercial organics rules? That's food services, retail food stores, and other food establishments. So every single food establishment, food service, retail food store, other establishment. Let me put this in the chat so you could look it up as well. Okay. All of them have to separate their organic material. So it's not just by sector, it's by type of business. So yes, that includes all businesses in CB12
Okay, and
that are food.
that are food. Private couriers are doing organic pickup, or is DSNY doing it?
No, it has to be the private carder. We don't pick up anything from businesses.
Businesses, okay. Okay. Great. Is there a question in the chat? No, I don't think so. I think it was just her putting
Just
in.
the link so you could see the organics rule.
Okay. Any other?
And who the enforcers will be, like, who are going to be these people? Who spot these violations and do these things?
So DSNY has enforcement, right? Enforcement
Correct.
agents.
We do the enforcement, correct.
Yeah, they do it themselves. Okay.
And sorry, I just want to say one thing. So I know there's a couple of questions happening at once before. So I think one of you had mentioned a couple of businesses that you think on Amsterdam that have not, you are quite sure don't know about this rule. Do you mind letting me know which one those are? You can send me an email later on. Ebenezer totally has my email. Just let me know if there's any specific businesses that you think totally don't know. And then we'll go up there. That's my team. We're outreach, we're community affairs. So I'll go up there and I'll tell them.
I think your best bet would really to be, and I hate to say this, but really go up and down, Amsterdam and
Okay.
St. Nicholas.
Okay, just I need to know which streets. I'm not gonna,
I'm saying from what I'm thinking of, between, let's say, 155 through 165th, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, Broadway, I'm not Broadway, I mean Amsterdam and St. Nicholas. Because they're not part of bids, they're not,
Yeah, and maybe we can can you type in your email on the chat, and we'll put it in the minutes. And what we'll do is, if anybody has like businesses that should know about this program, let you know. Can we let you know, Marissa?
No, I was gonna say this is on YouTube, right? So everybody will have my email, but I guess.
Yeah.
So you're saying Amsterdam and St. Nicholas 155 to 165?
Yeah. But generally speaking, we like to inform our constituents, make sure that this is happening. Even if it's just $50, I know $50 for the first time is not bad, but second, third time,
No,
I
we
think-
agree. We want to do education before we do enforcement.
right.
That's why we have that warning period. We want to get to as many people as possible. We are, of course, there's only so many of us that could do it, but that is our goal.
And let me ask you one last question. If nobody else has, do you know how many private couriers, are there in New York City?
Oh, a lot. No, off the top of my head, wait, hold on. I think I can actually find it. Where is that? All right, the answer is a lot, because if I look at our commercial waste zone plan, there are, oh, they gave like a cute little number before. Okay, no, I don't want to have to wait to read something for you. But there's a lot.
I know there's commercial waste zones, and I think I don't know what commercial waste zone we are. I would love to know like what courier is, because I know there was a bid and they did this whole thing where there was a big bid for each zone. I would love to know what couriers are for what zones, so maybe we could reach out to them and let them know.
So that didn't start yet. We're only starting in Queens, and that definitely isn't going to start in time for March. So
Okay.
I think you technically would be, I think this is 13. I'm just looking at the map that's on our website, which I can also put in the chat for you, just so you guys can easily grab like for your minutes. Yeah, but that didn't start yet. But essentially, we didn't award any of the what's the word? We didn't award any of the contracts yet.
Oh, okay, good.
Happened yet. No. But when I go to this page, it used to tell me how many Carters there were in New York City as like a fun tidbit, and now I'm not seeing it. Because I guess we updated it. But we're gonna have 20 commercial waste zones. And yeah, there's only gonna be not that many in Manhattan itself.
Do you know when these things are gonna happen? These I guess bids for these commercial waste zones?
No, I'm sorry, because it's just giving me the old rules about it. We have a public hearing next month.
When
It's on
can
the
you put
link
that?
I sent you.
Yeah.
It's on that one. But I'll
Okay,
send
good.
you this as well. It's
I will
on March
join that.
7th. It's virtual. That's the second thing I just sent you.
Okay, great. I'll join that, and we'll learn a little bit about.
Yes, because I'm not seeing anything else. And I apologize. There's literally 20 people whose job it is to look this up and to know all this, and I apologize. I
No,
don't
you're
have
no, you're good. I know that I thought they awarded these commercial zones already, but it's good to see that it's still open.
I don't think they did. But again, if you have other questions about the commercial waste zones before or after you do this public hearing, feel free to email me your questions and I'll make sure it gets to our commercial waste team and we'll get you those answers. That's not a problem.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Any other questions we have for her? Thank you so much. We appreciate you staying late in your office, and answering our questions. But if we have any questions, we'll be sure to and recommendations for businesses to be reached out to. We'll shoot you an email. All right.
Yeah, of course. That's why it's here. Please reach out to me whenever you can. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your night.
You too, Marissa. Take care. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. That was good. Informative. March 1st, huh? So, Marco from the Land Night Market is here to join us. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me over here.
Yeah. Anytime. Thank you for joining us. I saw Jamila on. I don't know if she jumped back on. Let me see. Okay. All right. But thank you so much again. But we brought you back. I know we gained the Latin night market back. It was a huge success in September. We want to see this done not just once, but multiple times throughout the year. So talk to us. What are some of your plans, and your goals this year?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. And more than that, I want to say to you, thank you on a different kind of subject, all of you. After working in Inwood, in Uptown over there with Community Board 12 and the council member and the community, I learned so much about how things can be done in a different way when everybody works together. So I got a hats off to you guys, because the coordination and the communication between the CB and the CM and the assemblyman is so great that I took that and I literally used that in conversation that I had in other locations, especially like the Bronx and Brooklyn, to kind of trying to make sure that everybody come onto the plate and say like, hey, we got to take a page from that book. So I want to say thank you for everybody, because it's really, really something that you guys need to know that you are doing really well in that aspect.
Thank you so much. We pride ourselves of being a joint neighborhood, a real neighborhood feel here, working together with our elected officials. And here in the community board, I feel like we're real close knit. But we appreciate you, and thank you for your compliments.
100%. Thank you, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to to come over here and say hi and talk about a little bit about some of the plans. We've been working with the DOT and SAPO and and the people in around the neighborhood, especially in that Quisqueya Plaza, to bring the Latin night market and kind of make it like a fixture. Bring it back the same way that we do in other places, and kind of continue that what we started, which was such an amazing experience. We still hype about it, but we want to make it easy on everybody. We're not going to take it. We're not going to do 3 blocks like we did last time. We're going to stick to the plaza and the adjacent street. It's going to be slightly smaller because there's more frequency. But I think we've learned a lot. And on a personal note, I got to tell you that for me, in my 7-year career of doing this multiple times around the city in big scale, this was one of the best events that we've had. This is like, things worked out so well. The communication, the community appreciated so much, and the way that it worked with the businesses. It was such a sight to see the businesses around what we did, the market, like being so busy and enjoying themselves, and like really coming back and saying to me like, hey, Marco, these businesses have not been as busy in a long time. So for me, that kind of plays a part of that. One of the things that we talked with Jamila and the council member people is finding ways to better work with local businesses. And just to kind of give you guys the idea, last year we reached out. We worked with the bid, and we worked with the Inwood Merchant Association to reach out to everyone on their list. And I think like what happens is, because it was the first time, they did not really know how and what. So they kind of like a little bit hesitated on that. What we did this year, and we're working with them to create, like, I'm doing actually 2 seminars with the Inwood Merchant Association to go with the business and explain to them how to apply and what do they need to do and the processes that they need to know in order to participate in that, and therefore possibly increase their participation and such. I think like overall the response is great. My team is obsessed with what happened over there, and we love it. I think we want to come and represent. Ideally we're talking about the 3rd Friday of the month. As you guys all know, we come in, we set up for a 4 o'clock start, 10 o'clock sharp we shut down, clean up, and then by 11 o'clock we leave like we were never there, like just like ninjas. As far as like some of you remember, our operation is pretty tight as far as like really coordinated between the city agencies, and also making sure being respectful for whatever happens with the community, but also leaving the place as we found it, and I think that's kind of like the highlight points of where I want to go with that.
Yeah. Just to commend you. Yeah, you ran that event very well. For those who don't know, it was from Dyckman on Broadway. Well, it technically started after Quisqueya Plaza, and went on right before the park. not all the way down to where the marina is, but it spanned 2 blocks. It was very successful. They had a stage on one side. And about how many businesses, Marco, did you have?
We had 40 businesses working, and then we had another 8 on the plaza, but not really in commerce, more like sampling and stuff like that. So it was really fun.
Yeah, he had these businesses, and they were some were from the neighborhood, some from outside, but had a great attendance. How many were in attendance for this event?
Well, we asked, according to what we clock, estimate over 15,000 people throughout the day.
15,000 people. This means our restaurants on Dyckman that have been struggling were full, were packed, like you mentioned. Their revenue was up for that day. It was a great time. No big commotion, no big complaints. And I like what you're doing. You're shortening it, just because we're gonna do it multiple times. It's a great idea. How many businesses do you think, if you do shorten it, how many businesses do you think will be able to join now?
The beautiful part about what we're going to do is, like, the business is going to be the same amount of businesses. The only thing that changes is that large space that we left for the stage. We're gonna incorporate that into the plaza, so we're gonna push everything up a little bit. So but the same amount of businesses. We are working right now with DOT to be able to have some of the vendors actually sell stuff on the plaza, which we were not able to do last time. Just due to the different kind of permitting, in order to sell on the plaza, you have to have like a 29 concession agreement with the DOT, and we're in the process on attaining that now. We're working with the folks of the Quisqueya Plaza, Susanna and Victor and the rest of them. But this is another like really nice anecdote. We not only working with them to take the 29 concession, but we were in conversation to create like a arts and crafts market, called Arte Uptown, and it's going to be on Wednesdays afternoon, like right after work kind of stuff like that, because we wanted to kind of create a situation where we bring more people to engage with the neighborhood, in the middle of the week. There's so much activities happening on the weekends that we wanted to kind of, help them and help them and source some more attraction over there. So we're working on that. And there's some conversation later on for like a holiday market, kind of like a mini Bryant Park style thing that we're going to bring. So there's a lot of incredible things. And, and you guys open the door, and then I love the energy that this entire, neighborhood, this entire, board community is bringing. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
We are a diamond in the rough. We were one of the more lively neighborhoods. I like to pride myself on that, and that we really want to enjoy ourselves, promote businesses, and promote these type of events.
Joy, I gotta tell you, like, I run every month. I go between 6 and 7 community boards. I gotta tell you guys run a tight ship. And this is not me saying, like, I've seen some crazy stuff. You guys got the communication, the website, everything. It's really impressive what you guys do over there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Marco. I appreciate that. I'm gonna open it up to the committee. See if we have any questions. Go ahead, Alexis.
So I have a few questions. How are you making this for uptown, for the Latin night market? How are you making this affordable for people to participate? That's my biggest concern. Like, what do you charge regularly for somebody to have a setup? Let's say.
So our charge starts usually at 175 and ends around like 450 or 500, depends if they are, the use of a power, the different permitting, like there's different regulation, that comes with, for instance, like FDNY, they, whatever you got, like, what kind of equipment do you use and or generator. So that's like really the main thing. But it starts at 175. It goes up if they rent a tent, if they rent a table, all the kind of added fixing and stuff like that. Sometimes we organize parking. we known in the city and working, like our prices are very reasonable for the vendors. To give you an indication, of vendors on average in, and this is real numbers, the average was $5,000 made that day for vendors, so they made a decent amount of money.
So if you're gonna do a holiday market, it's gonna have to be far more budget friendly. Because
Oh yeah. All of the markets are different. Yeah, all of them. Sorry.
I'm speaking. Because you have all these small businesses that want to make good and want to get their products out there. What is your plan to make this budget friendly? And are you planning on taking a percentage of what they make?
We don't take percentage as a rule. We charge a fee, and that's kind of what we do. We don't like to get into people's business and how much they made or how much they didn't make. We always, when you talk about a holiday market, it's more merchants, it's more artists, it's more smaller businesses, sometimes hobby businesses. So the price is very relatable to that and very appropriate in that matter. Also, the needs are less. The needs are less for power. If you think about like somebody who has cooking equipment or whatnot, their needs are completely different than somebody who sells jewelry and all they need really is a table, and a tent. So that's kind of like where it reflects. So, the prices are reasonable, fair, and I give you the best indication of that. Every year over the past 7 years, our vendor list has increased, if not doubled, just because people are very content in working with us across the city.
Good. No. Thank you, Alexis. Bruce?
Any thoughts about having, like, for example, the holiday market extend over the weekend to give the vendors more time to get customers who may not make it the day that you have the one-day event, like downtown and Columbus Circle and Union Square during the holidays? Those are very successful, I think. I don't know. But do you have any plans to do that? Make it more, expand the program to a couple days rather than just one night?
Absolutely. The plan is to have it from the 16th of December to the 22nd.
Uh-huh.
So covering 7 days of operation, 8 days of operation. And that will be like, with the limitation of the hours, but yeah, and program and carolers and a bunch of that other holiday appropriate activities.
You said when? You said December?
He's talking about the holiday market. So I was referring to the holiday market. It's the December 16th to the 22nd. Yeah.
And this is something that you're still, it's still in the works.
We're working right now. We're working with the Quisqueya Plaza people, to kind of get it. But the Latin market, the plan is to launch on. I think it comes out to April 19th.
I was just about to ask. April 19th,
and we're running like every third Friday of the month through October. And
every third Friday, right?
Yeah.
And have you gotten the permits yet, or are you still working on them?
It's the city. They're probably gonna give me the permit 2 hours before the event. I used to get very nervous of that in the first 2 years. I used to not sleep and just bite my nails, and now it's just it's part of the thing, So, but we already know where we're going with that. The only difference that we're working on is to change one of the permits on the permits of the plaza to be a 29-day concession. Which then allows us to minimize the space and really kind of focus on creating the best experience possible.
Okay. Go ahead. Excuse me, not Bruce, Carl.
What's the name of your organization?
My organization?
Yeah, name of?
Mask Hospitality Group. MASC Hospitality Group. I can drop it in the chat over here. You can look at it.
Please do.
I'll drop the website. You want me to? I'll drop the website. Is that okay?
Yeah, you could drop the website.
Okay, cool.
And for Carl, why don't you speak about the following that not only the Latin night market has, or it's growing, but what the Uptown market has done. So you can kind of get a grasp of what you do.
I'm sorry, was that, is that
So-
right?
Yeah, I can see it. See it.
Can you,
Oh, no, I missed the question. Was that?
Oh,
to me?
so can you tell Carl about your following on the Uptown Night Market, and also your following on how Latin Night Market has been growing just on the social media, and what you've done with that?
I'll give you a little bit of a background. I'll go even further back. We started in the Bronx in Fordham Plaza in 2017, immediately kind of becoming a staple in the Bronx and in the Uptown community. Mostly because our strong ties with the community, working with community boards, working with the council members. Really, while we are a for-profit company, but we make sure that we work closely with the community. Even in our approach to the marketing, we use obviously like social media and other digital format, but we also have like old school, walking around to community centers and churches and giving out flyers, making sure that like everybody from a Gen Z generation all the way to retired folks can kind of understand and be aware of that. We make a rule to like show up to like community board meetings and different committees, and make sure that we kind of present ourselves. So we started in the Bronx. The next one we opened was Uptown Night Market in Harlem. We intentionally took a place, I'm sure you all know, like 12th Avenue, where the old fairways used to be, pretty desolate area. Nothing happens over there. There's not even businesses. One of the reasons we did that, and the thought behind that, is because we wanted to kind of bring back some attention to that corridor. Some of you remember there used to be like one point there was like really pretty nice activity going on over there with a couple of the restaurant, and I forgot the name of the Italian place.
Oh, yeah.
You got
It's a Bono. And then there was a beer garden.
Covo.
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah.
Covo and beer garden, yeah. And I used to go to that Covo place. I used to go to every Sunday and have that eggplant pasta, and I was very upset when they closed. So I thought, what has changed? And there's a lot of change over there, and it became pretty desolate. So, we put a lot of attention on that. And, on a regular basis, we bring about almost 20,000 people over there. And I want to say that, but I don't, I want to knock on wood and say that to date, hundreds of events, we've never had an ounce of bad vibe, because the focus that we do and the respect to the community and understanding that we come together to eat, to have fun, to listen to good music, to mingle with each other, and 10 o'clock sharp, we go home. There's no play, we don't play any games. We don't stick around and have a drink or whatnot. We shut down the music, shut the lights down, said thank you, everybody, and then we'll see you next time. And our demographic has gotten used to that. I know a lot of folks that lives, around within the district, your district, are familiar with the Uptown Night Market. This is also one of the reasons that we've been kind of called to explore the possibility of bringing the Latin Night Market to Dyckman. And initially we thought about Dyckman Night Market, whatnot, and then we realized that, especially, with a growing Latin community, this is going to be a good flavor to bring people from outside of the area. One, to make sure that the community celebrates. Two, bring some people to kind of get familiarized with Inwood, Washington Heights, and Dyckman, and start adding that to their trips and go and spend some money with the businesses around. So that's kind of like the overall perspective of how we do things.
Okay, great. So you said April 19th is probably going to be the first one. What do you think?
Yes, sir. April 19th, first one, and then running through through October.
Okay. And Bruce mentioned this, and I wanted to mention it to you. Have you explored other places in Washington Heights? For example, I know that we have a plaza not only in 207, but also in the United Palace on 175th or 4th.
Oh, fifth.
Yeah. And Broadway, which is plaza. It has a smaller space.
You trying to get me in trouble with a vegetable vendor over there? Because we went to see that one time, and I'm telling you, I'm not messing with that, guys. You know what I mean? So it is smaller. It's something that came up before, and I worked with the people from the local bid over there to explore that.
Yeah.
Because I really like that, and the palace and everything is amazing. but you know, it's small, and this guy, the dude over there, is grandfathered in. You know what I mean? So you know, it's not gonna be me who relocate, you know, somebody else. So
Right, yeah, there's a lot of parties involved in that plaza.
yeah.
A lot of not-for-profits. So I know you mentioned it, Bruce, but I would expect that it would be a couple hurdles for you to, you know, make that run
Yeah,
smoothly.
I was, you know what I was thinking, and this is me, you know, thinking out loud, and you know, and don't hold me to it, you know, because it's been a long day and I'm tired as well. But you know, Jenna from the Parks Department, the new Parks Commissioner, you know, she's a good friend, and I know where they do the medieval thing, right? And that all stretch. So maybe, you know, not this year, but maybe something like that, you know, or maybe like on occasion we go out of, you know, the Dyckman area and do something more large scale and really show how the diversity of New York can play into kind of that traditional scene. So there's a lot of good ideas out there. You know, one of the things that uniques us is we only move forward when we really feel comfortable that we got our, excuse my language, shit together. Meaning, like, we want to do this right. We want to make sure that everything works perfectly and it's tight still. And then we're going to talk about like going outside of that and expanding and creating more scenarios. So, you know, like, steady does it, right? You know, like, you know,
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago, walk slow, you'll get there faster.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to see that. Middlewood Festival hasn't happened in a couple years.
Yeah.
So, you know, to get something like that would be huge. Obviously, slow and steady, but we welcome you. The reason why we welcome you is because we want to see businesses thrive in Washington Heights. I know we mentioned that we had a couple businesses of Washington Heights in this. We want more, right? And whenever, I know April 19th is right around the corner, but we want to reach out to our local businesses to have a spot there. The people who could afford it and who could benefit from it, we want them there. I know you want to have a variety of different land cultures represented, but we want some businesses of Washington Heights to be.
I want to and I want to really emphasize that we not only we try, we also offer through the Inwood Merchant Association. We offered free, no payment. You know, for no fee, and it was still difficult. You know, and again, I say I've seen this before many times. People hesitate; they don't know what to expect. You know. On the day, I've had a few of the businesses come to me and says, how can we participate in that? We even, if you remember, even what we did is because some businesses, we saw the situation, we removed tents and booths to allow access to go to those businesses. You know, so we have every intention to work with the community. This is to support the businesses around. This is to bring other people to see the beauty of the neighborhood and to see the beauty of the cultures in the community. So, and then we'll do whatever we can. And that's why we started working very early with a bid, you know, with Isidro and with Gwen from the Inwood Merchant Association to make sure that not only we reach out to everybody, but we also open the door for them to come and work with me directly in a seminar to understand how to do it better and how to market with that and all that stuff. So, you know, it's really a different way that we do things. We want to give as much as we can because we're getting and we're blessed. We've been blessed to be able to have great opportunities, and this is one way for us to give back.
Great. So the two things that I ask. Let us know when the application comes out. You send it to me and I'll send it to the board for to participate, and when the seminar is. So when, whenever you get the application open and you're accepting vendors, let us know. Well, if they could make it and they could make it happen, great. If not, maybe they can participate in the seminar and maybe do it some other time. So let us know when that application comes out. And we'll forward it to the businesses in our neighborhood.
100%. I want to ask Beatrice from my office to send it tomorrow, and then I'll touch base with Gwen, and we'll figure out like exactly when those two seminars are going to be.
All right, great. Again, Marco, thank you so much. Do you have any other questions? Thank you so much. We welcome you. Hopefully, April 19th is a huge event, huge success. Get some businesses involved and and lots of luck to you, all right?
I appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate this opportunity. And I really, really, truly appreciate how you guys stand together as a community and really care about every aspect of that. Literally every aspect of that is covered. And it's like, kudos to you guys. Glad to work with you. I hope to see everybody April 19th.
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good
Thanks.
talk.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So, next on our agenda is new business. I know we have a guest. I'd like to shout out any new businesses. Talk to me. Introduce yourself. Please.
Say something to us.
Yeah.
Say something to us.
On this spot. Well, my name is Fana. I've lived in the neighborhood for going on 15 years now. I came to the neighborhood as a single young lady, and now I have a whole family, including a husband and 4 girls. And it's just been a delight. And Alexis has been my longtime neighbor. And I happen to have a moment with her. We were running past each other, right, Alexis,
Yeah.
on the road, right in front of our building. And I shared with her that I have a dream. So there's a little bit more happening now, but let's call it a dream in honor also of Black History here. I have a dream that someday, right here in the neighborhood, and I am very much interested in this, the 155th to 165th corridor, particularly Amsterdam. You know, as a new mom, I came to realize that there were very little spaces for families and kids in particular. If I needed to buy a gift for a birthday party, which there are so many in my kids' calendar, I now have to go either to the Target up on 180 something, or I have to go to Grandma's place on 119th and Lenox, or I have to travel this and that, you know? And so I thought, gosh, why isn't there a place that reflects the beauty of the neighborhood, that serves the families and the growing number of families that we have here, to provide a space where you can come in, get your little gift, get your, you know, thing for your kid, as a gift. But really what's even closest to my heart is an event and a gathering space. This is a space to support, in my dream, it's a place to support families. So what I'm envisioning is, you know, like me, a lot of people live in a small apartment. When you have a birthday, you can't have your, you know, 20 abuelas coming to your place, you know? So this would also serve as an event space for things like birthdays, other celebrations, perhaps, you know, for younger kids, their little graduations, that kind of thing, but also an educational space where when, you know, mothers can come and listen to a doula talking about doula services or about health services, or be a point of access to sign up for health. You know, I believe this neighborhood is in transition. So the question is, as somebody thinking about building a business here, how do you build a bridge between who's already here and who's coming? And so this would be a space I would hope that would be one of the bridges to the existing and to the coming family. So that's the dream. I am looking for spaces. That's the challenge of the moment. We are working on the website. I'm thinking about some pop-up events just to start getting some energy.
I love it.
So that's the dream. I hope, I don't know, does it make sense?
Yeah, no, listen, it sounds amazing. It sounds great. Like, I've been in Washington Heights all my life, and I've seen it transition from a lot of mom and pop shops, toy stores. You remember those toy stores right there on 181st Street, on 180th? There was a couple of them on 207 and Dykeman. Yeah, they shut down. So I love that idea of having a, you know, like a small store where you can walk in and, you know, have those gifts for younger people. But totally with that event space, like 100%. There's event spaces now that are dedicated for certain niches throughout the community. But my recommendation is to, and maybe we can get you the contact info for bids. There's, well, one bid in Washington Heights, which is the Washington Heights bid. It's 181st Street. On on Broadway and all avenues in Washington Heights. But their office is on 181st Street. Oh, so a bit, no, that's good. This is what we're here for. So it's the business improvement districts. So there's bids all over New York, or New York City. Our bid is in 181st Street. However, in your area, there's a developing bid through the Community League of the Heights. That's a not-for-profit. And I recommend that you sign up to both of their newsletters. Because sometimes what happens is that landlords contact them for open retail locations that they need filled.
That's basically gonna be for Broadway, but I'll introduce you to Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie is for the Community League of the Heights, which is Cloth. Cloth is for that section of our neighborhood. They're developing a bid. They're not quite there. They're trying to get funding to do so and signatures to do so of local businesses. And you have Isidro, which is also on the bid. He's on the, not the bid. He is the bid. He's on the board. He
the
run.
director.
Yeah, he's the director of the bid.
They've been around for 30 years.
Yes, they have. And he actually runs our licensing for liquor licensing here in the community board. So he's
There's an incubator at Yeshiva University
yes,
for small businesses and
yes, which is I'm actually a part of.
oh, are you in that?
Yeah, I am.
That's a,
Incubator,
you know
yeah.
what an incubator is? It raises businesses
Yeah.
like babies.
So
You're a baby business. And you want to have more babies come in.
yeah. And this is great that you came because one of the things we pride to ourselves in the committee is to bring in a lot of resources. So some of those resources are brought about different not-for-profit organizations around us, i.e. Cloth, i.e. the bid, also the Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce. Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce is the one partnering with Yeshiva University to create the Innovation Lab here in the Heights. So there's a bunch of resources. Maybe give me your email or, we'll connect with Alexis. And you get this information of all these resources because they are the ones that, one, have access to different places that may be available. So you can get the ball rolling or be a part of the incubator. And I will introduce you to John, which is the program director of the incubator.
I would find that immense useful because this would be my first, sort of, my first baby steps to continue on the baby thing. My first baby steps into the work on entrepreneurship. I come out of a business background, business development, and do executive development as well, kind of. But in terms of my own shop, anything that sort of defends my foundation, I think it's incredibly valuable.
Oh,
So I'm delighted with absolutely, Alexis, what kind of mind am I for bringing me here?
so there's another one that I just slipped. It's the Inwood Merchant Association. They are not a bid yet. They're what we call a merchant association. And they're like the step right before an actual district. And they have what we call the commercial U, which is Dyckman and 207 and the Broadway that connects the two. So they have information on empty retail locations on Dyckman, 207 and Broadway between those two streets.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are a lot of stores that are empty.
Yeah.
And there's an artist up in Inwood that was doing pop-up art stores.
Yes.
But if you can rent a space in a store, not get a full-time lease because that locks you in for whatever.
Yeah.
You rent a space for a day from a landlord, and you're like a moving feast kind of thing, where one neighborhood, one space, and you establish a temporary relationship, so you don't burn out all your money, in a physical location, because that costs a lot.
Yeah, and they have info. Speaking of artists, the reason why I know that they have info on empty retail locations is because they're using local artists. I think it's
No,
called, Artist on the Ave, is it? Or Ave on, something like that. It's an
Yeah.
organization that basically uses local artists' work to fill up empty retail locations. If you look on, yes, so they,
what about Noma? Check with Noma.
I think Noma's part of,
Yes.
Noma curate that.
yeah, they
So-
curate it.
Have you ever heard of the Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance? So they do the June Art Stroll. Martin Collins is one of the heads there, and they're based in the Palace, United Palace. So you can go knock on their door and say, look, I'm here. So that's another angle.
All the organizations that we mentioned, if you have social media, follow them. Because they have,
Chashama. So Chashama, Chashama, every time I say it, I have to write it out. So the daughter of one of the Durst organization it's her nonprofit, right? So when there are empty, if it's under their real estate purview, right? They allow artists, businesses to be in that space for free for X amount of time. So, my friend that has Harlem Needle, she has had a spot in East Harlem now for a year and a half.
For free?
oh,
I mean, there's like a minimal charge really, but let's say an admin fee,
You
but
pay the lights.
basically.
what's that organization?
Chashama.
Sashama? Is it here in Washington Heights or no?
It's
It's,
New York wide, so
Oh.
go on her website.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's part of the Durst family, the big real.
How do you
estate
spell that?
CHASHAMA,
Yeah.
and like Mary A. Chashama.
Shama. Yeah, so those are some of the resources that we have. We're also putting together a resource guide, which I've been promising for 4 months now, but it's working. We were getting the template first, but it's coming along. That for businesses just like you that are just starting, or existing businesses, or people who have just ideas, they could go on and go into different resources and find out about their events. For example, the Dominican American Chamber of Commerce is also in Washington Heights. They just put on a game show, right? You can go in there and connect with people with other resources. So you're in the right place. Don't let this be the last time, but continue to grow. Take the names that we're giving you. I'll give you some emails, join their newsletter.
I think the bid
You
on
know.
181. They have a small business services office resource center, and they train people like you who want to get into business and so forth. The Cedro is fantastic,
Oh yeah,
and see what they.
Isidro.
Oh,
Cedro Medina. He's on the community board.
He's the director of the bid, the Washington Heights bid.
They're part of the small business services. They get grants, they get support, and the bid comes out of small business services. So it all works together to train people like you who want to get into business.
Yeah, Google these names, search them through social media. We'll give you some emails, join their newsletter to find out more resources. And when the resource guide comes out, you'll be one of the first ones to get it. But yeah, we try to help businesses here as much as we can. So I thank you for coming in and following Alexis's directive. She's a good person to have. But thank you so much for coming tonight, and we wish you well.
We should bring Shasama.
No?
We should get Shasama in here to talk.
Yeah, that's what I was just. I was thinking that as you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But yes. So any other announcements? Any new business? Old business? Resource guide coming soon. Old business.
Right.
Announcements. All right. It's 8:24. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Second first by Alexis, seconded by Carl. Thank you so much, guys. See you guys next month. And I'll see you guys at the general board. Bye, guys. Last second.